Politics is our family business. United States Senator Carl Levin will join us later. It's Michael Patrick Shields with you. Already this morning, it's been a pretty good morning. We got to talk to Kip Miller, the former NHL hockey player on the Red Wings, and Joe Montana, the superstar quarterback, was with us this morning, too. A legislation to keep the state's 48-month lifetime limitation on public assistance indefinitely was reported to the House floor today. The bills came out of the House Committee on Families, Children, and Seniors. 3 Democrats on the committee split up their votes as much as possible. The situation is that the bill, House Bill 4409, sponsored by Ken Horn from Frankenmuth, the state rep, continues the 48-month limitation on welfare benefits and narrows the exemptions to include only people who are exempted from the JET program or parents who are either pregnant or domestic violence victim. The bill also increases sanctions on recipients that don't meet family self-sufficiency plan requirements. Paul Long, the head of the Michigan Catholic Conference, is on the other end of our line. He's got reasons why that bill should be opposed. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Michael Patrick. How are you this morning?
Yeah, good. How was New Orleans?
New Orleans was a good time. It was a good session of meetings with the national about 12,000 Catholic educators from around the country gathered to spend a week together, and it was a very good, productive set of meetings.
To make it simple, it looks to me like the movement in Lansing now is to sort of tighten the length that people can be on assistance and tighten the way that they qualify for it. Is that what these bills do, or am I wrong?
No, that's what they do. We have, the law that's in place has been in place since 2006. The 48-month time limit with a built-in set of exemptions in case people run into certain problems. Mm-hmm. This bill tightens that up dramatically. As in your lead-in, it strips essentially most of the exemptions all out, including an exemption that would provide for in a county where the unemployment rate is 25% or more. That's been stripped out, and we have a number of counties around the state that have a 25% unemployment rate. If no one can find a job, it's a little bit disingenuous of the state to say, well, we're not going to help you out either.
So you get 48 months. That's your lifetime limitation for public assistance right now. That is in place already, yeah?
That is correct. And the law that was put in place in 2006 is working. It's helping people to make sure that they know that they have a set limit of time that they can receive benefits from the state, and that they need to get the training that they need to move into some kind of work. The problem, Michael Patrick, now is if we limit a lot of these exemptions, as this bill does, if someone could get training today and move off assistance, but the job they might be trained for might be, as we've seen in Michigan's economy, every 8 to 10 years, things change dramatically. Mm-hmm. 10 years from now, that person what they were trained for could be extinct. Then they would have to go back on assistance. But what this bill does now, and what the law would be if this bill were to pass and signed by the governor, is that in 10 to 12 years from now, if that person's job is extinct, well, too bad, because they've already used up their 48 months.
Mm-hmm. But that's not in play, the 48 months. That's just going to be that way anyway, isn't it?
Well, but see, the current law says that someone could, with regard to unemployment issues and with regard to a certain set of other issues, that they would be able to come back. That you can extend that 48 months in certain circumstances.
I see, but
in a variety of circumstances.
So it's a tightening of the circumstances that you're mostly worried about.
That's correct, because given Michigan's economy, the ups and the downs, and we've been through the downs for quite a long time now, it makes it much more difficult for people to be able to say that they can live within these limits. There is a positive with regard to this bill, and that is it allows people who are receiving assistance, who are working, yet they're earning very little income. They might be working at the local drugstore or McDonald's or wherever. This allows them to earn a little bit more money and still be able to stay and receive their assistance as well.
Are you being well heard at the Capitol?
We think that some are listening and others are not. Yesterday, the committee, we did not have the majority of the committee that was with us, but we're hoping that we're making some headwind. One of the key issues here too with this bill is that it's retroactive, and so that as soon as this is signed into law by the governor, the estimates are that 12,600 families will be removed from the assistance roles, and that includes children. And so we're very very concerned about that there's not even a process in place to provide some kind of a warning system, some kind of a time lapse that allows people to understand and know that their benefit they'll be losing their benefit. It's as soon as the governor signs this, they will lose the benefit, and they'll be on to themselves to figure out how to care for themselves.
Quite the spectacle this weekend in Rome, wasn't it, with the beatification of Pope John Paul II?
It was a beautiful day. I have to admit, I didn't see a whole lot of it. We had a first communion of my middle daughter, and so we were more focused on life at St. Thomas Aquinas Parish in East Lansing than we were what was the spectacle of what was going on in Rome. But everything I've heard and the highlights that I've seen, it looked like it was a beautiful day and a beautiful ceremony, and it would have been really terrific to have been able to have the opportunity to be there.
Yeah, well, you can't be everywhere. You're going to be in Michigan, New Orleans, and and Rome, too. But you'll be there in spirit with the rest of us, and we appreciate the chat this morning.
I appreciate it, Michael Patrick. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. That's Paul Long, the president and CEO of the Michigan Catholic Conference, a very powerful lobby, and even more powerful now that they added Tom Hickson to their staff, stealing him from Tim McGuire at the Michigan Association of Counties. United States Senator Carl Levin, the Democrat, the chair of the Armed Services Committee, will be with us a little bit later. The Obama administration standing by Pakistan after this week's killing of Osama bin Laden. The spokesman yesterday said Pakistan remains a very important partner in the fight against terrorism. But a lot of people want to know why Pakistani authorities didn't know Osama bin Laden was living in that compound so close to the capital, close to a military base for so many years without somebody in Pakistan saying something. Yeah. We'll ask him, too, about this business of should the United States release photos of the dead Osama bin Laden. They are supposed to be rather gruesome indeed. There are pictures of the funeral, too, the burial, I guess, at sea. And, there are people who want to see them and maybe people who don't. There's a spike in New York City in reports of suspicious packages. Now, I guess that's expected when you have al-Qaeda threatening revenge and people get a little skittish, particularly in New York City. And so there are some people who say Detroit could be a target because of the auto business. We'll talk more about that, too, with Senator Carl Levin. And lastly, President Bush decided not to go to the, what do you call it? It's a commemoration event tomorrow at Ground Zero. President Obama is going to go there to commemorate the shooting of Osama bin Laden at the Ground Zero site. So he decided to go, and then about a day later he decided maybe we should invite President George W. Bush, and George W. Bush said thank you, no thank you. We'll probably talk to Senator Levin about that, too. The millage did not pass in Lansing. 52 to 48%, 600 votes would have been the difference, according to Verge Bernero. That means he's going to have a budget next year 9.2% smaller. That means police and fire are going to lose their jobs, many of them, and also the roads might not be very good going forward. But that's what happened here in the state capital area, where we are live in our American Metal Roofs studio. You can find them at AmericanMetalRoofs.com and find out how you can save up to 50% on your energy bills. It's Michael Patrick Shields. My interview with Joe Montana coming up later, too. Stay tuned.